Hey guys, what's going on? It's Shockfactor22. I'm currently playing WWE 12 right now. If I can turn. All right, if you guys can see that, I'm at the loading screen or start screen. Now, I had made Degeneration X because I realized that they had the Degeneration X entrance about 2 months after I had the game, and of course, knowing WWE 12, knowing fucking Cory, because again, he fucks up everything, it's glitched. Basically, this is anybody who's trying to get the game and wants to play as DX or use the entrance. Don't. Because the entrance it's messed up. Basically, the entrance is just a Titantron. So basically, if you're watching the Degeneration X Titantron, you're just getting nothing but the DX Titantron until they get to the point with the pyro. When they do the crotch chop, the pyro goes off. That's when it ends. And then when the pyro's finished, it goes right back to being the full video. There's no showing Shawn and Hunter going down to the ring. It's just the Titantron. And they expect me to pay a patch? No, fuck you, Cory. You should have made the game. You should have made sure that the game was not as glitched as it was the moment that it fucking came out. You've done it again, and I can't. Cory, I can't believe you. Since 2008. Now, don't get me wrong, 2008 is a great game. That's why I'm doing a video series of it. I've lost more respect for you because you find a fucking way to mess up these games. It's just like how EA Sports did with the NASCAR games. They made them shit and shit, more shit and more shit every year. Yeah, your Technics didn't get a first start, but that was their first fucking NASCAR game. So I'm gonna buy the patch for that simply because it's the first game. So of course it's not gonna be pitch perfect, but you've had the SmackDown series since the first SmackDown game, ever since you bought it from Acclaim. And you've had it was right when you started making SmackDown versus Raw that it went to crap. Ugh. And also, here's something else. It involves a DLC. Now, of course, we know the pre-order DLC this year was The Rock, blah, 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 and you guys know about that. Here's the thing. You guys, anybody who didn't pre-order it before the release date, you guys are getting The Rock in February. But then what the fuck? Then what the fuck is the goddamn point of putting The Rock as a pre-order DLC? You may as well put him in the game as an unlockable if you're gonna have him in there. Make it like let's see. Let's say have Cena win the WWE title, or have Cena, because of course we know his main feuds with Cena, and of course he's gonna face Cena at Mania. Have him have it where John Cena wins a match at the WrestleMania in the WWE Universe, and have The Rock come out, the Rock music and everything, like how we have Brock Lesnar in this game, win a match in the WWE Universe, comes down to the ring, and beats the crap out of the winner. That's what it should be with The Rock. That'll get a lot of The Rock fanboys happy, and it'll, be good for some of the other fans. Hey, Lofty, that's just for you, so you shut the fuck up, you little friggin' prick. Anyway, the Divas DLC was completely unnecessary. I mean, I'm not saying there's a problem with the Divas, because, I mean, the Divas are really starting, from what I've been watching in TNA, the Divas in the WWE have started to get better. They are starting to compete a lot longer, and are being a lot more, wrestly than they are just being models. However, I would have liked if Cory had not done the DLC and had put Nikki, Brie, Guerrero, and Karma. I think it's Karma. Have those 4 already in the game. Keep the DLC pack, JR, Lawler, Michaels, and Cole. Have the Legends DLC, which we know is Randy Savage. Ooh, yeah. Mick Foley. Bang bang! Brodus Clay. None there. And Batista, the animal. But then I was thinking, if I can get my fucking mic off there, I was thinking there could be one more DLC pack. And this is who I think should be. This was if Cory Lesmond actually had the balls and had the gall to do it. Have Kurt Hawkins as a downloadable content. Have basically what they should do is they should have the roster that McMahon has put in, but then take the rest of the roster and put it in one DLC. Basically call it like the full DLC or something like that, like the whole DLC. Like, have guys like Trent Beretta, Kurt Hawkins, Tyler Rex, JTG. Why is JTG not in WWE 12? You've put him in every other game for, let me think. He was in 08, he was in 09, he was in 10, he was in 11. That's 4 years. You've had him in the game for 4 years. Phew! Gone. Not even in the game. And Hawkins, you had him in 09. Took him out in 10. Didn't appear in 11 unless you count the created wrestler. And then he's not in 12. Same with Rex. Rex has never been in a game. I mean, you can have Vance Archer in 2011, yet you can't have Tyler Rex in WWE 12. Yeah, it makes perfect sense. And again, Lance Hoy, Vance Archer, I did like your character in the game. You really were a powerhouse. Let me think. Who else could we? Oh yes, put the general managers in so we can use them in the WWE story designer again. I mean, you put last year you had Stephanie McMahon, who was the GM of Raw, not even at that time. You had Teddy Long, who was the GM of SmackDown, and then you had Tiffany, who was ECW. Where are the GMs now? Where's Johnny Ace? Even though how much I hate him, I'd probably put him in scene for he get jumped. Or Teddy Long being on SmackDown, or Matt Striker on NXT. They didn't do nothing to involve it, and that's kind of irritating. What else? Oh yes, stop putting Vince McMahon in the games. I mean, I know he's a crucial, have him where he's non-playable. Have him for, the story designer. Now, I know there are people who like having Vince in the game. I find it annoying because he takes, if I can move the camera here, he takes a spot that that somebody who is on the actual roster can take. And again, you have Trent Beretta, Kurt Hawkins, Tyler Rex. You have so many people. Chris Jericho, and that's another thing. Jericho should be DLC. He should be DLC in WWE 12 now that he's returned. I mean, have him have 2 or 3 attires. Have him have his 2010 attire, his 2011 attire, and his 2009 attire, or something like that, and let us, use community creations on them, and we can make a bunch of different attires. And again, and another thing that I got annoyed with is the fact that this is just a rant for you guys, just in case you know. Rey Mysterio's attire. I like that you can now adjust the colors of the 619 and the mask and everything, but there's way too many spots this year. Same with the Miz. I like it clean and basic. Excuse me. I mean, I want it straightforward, but I don't make it where the only things you need to adjust. If a wrestler has different wristbands, use those. Different trunks, different pants. I'm not really a thing for knee pads, but the knee pads designs, sure. I mean, look at Rob Van Dam. The only thing you could color was the designs of his attire, his boot design, and his boots. That's all you got. But yet this year, everybody has 6 or 7 specific designs for their attire. And I'm not saying that's a bad thing, because I like making specific attires for wrestlers like CM Punk. I do like making attires for The Miz. John Cena, I made his Rise Above Hate. I'll show that sometime later. I'm trying to think. I think I made a couple attires for Kane. I made the blue attire for the Big Show. I made the Night of Champions 09 attire for Punk. I made a bunch of attires. But again, if it was simplistic and straightforward, it'd be a lot smoother and a lot easier. But again, you know, I shouldn't be complaining because it's still a good game. I'm not saying that's a bad game. But there are a lot of things that should have been done. And then with the patch, excuse me, the patch was completely and utterly pointless. There was no point for the patch. They should have had the game. They should have said, "Oh, you know, we're not." They could have just said it sometime later. They should have said, "Oh, you know, we're not going to have the game ready yet, so we're going to have to wait. You guys are going to have to wait like a couple more weeks or so." We would have waited. We're not impatient. Well, apart from the fucking noobs that play the game and the fucking hackers and all that. But other than that, just you could have said, "Oh, you know, you guys can wait a couple more a couple more days or a couple more weeks until we have the thing completely finished." Yeah, and again, and that's another thing. They have an outdated like I'm not saying it's outdated, like the roster's outdated, but there's too little bit of a roster. I mean, yeah, this is the biggest roster that we've seen, but again, it's too small of a roster. It's not when I think of wrestling. I mean, look at like say, Just Bring It, WWF SmackDown, Just Bring It. That had every single person, even the people who were jobbers. They let you have them in the game, and again, they were unlockables at the least. They had so many people. They had Stephanie. They had Vince, Shane. They had Triple H, they had Stone Cold, The Rock, Undertaker, Kane, the Hardy Boys, Lita. They had every single person. But yet WWE 12, which is, I'm trying to think, it's like 7 or 8 games later, and we only get about half of the roster. And even then, we don't get anyone from NXT. So what's the point of having it as a brand? Seriously. Tell me down in the comments, what is the point of NXT being a brand? If it's not even on the Tuesday of the WWE universe. Oh wait, that's right. I know why. Because it was taken off the show because it's not ECW. Okay, sorry. Got a little bit marky there because ECW is from where my hometown is, so. But again, and you know what? I'll get to that next. I'll get to the NXT season. I'll get to NXT next. But yeah, in the next part, well, this is gonna be possibly 3 parts because I have a lot to say about WWE 12. I'll see you guys later. Peace.